Dudes, check out this Altair sweater. Check out this Altair hat. Check out this moon sap. And check out this mug that I'm not drinking out of because it's dirty. Everybody, I'm pumped. And do you want to know why? Because today we are launching the mega finale of Paris Reed's The Hypernova series, Mystery of Planet Creyenia. Look, I even got my makeup all done up. It's all blue. It's Altair themed. So I've got a little bit of a time crunch. Just a little bit, because I got to go out on a date with my fiance. Got to keep the romance alive. But we're going to breeze through the last 4 chapters of the Hypernova series, Mystery of Planet Creyenia. Because it's about to get crazy. And I have a feeling that once I start reading, I'm not going to want to stop. We are on the chapter called I Take a Road Trip to Creyenia. Laurier guides us back to the crew area. The class is concluded, and we end on a high note. My friends are all talking about my terrific maneuvering as we gather in a group. Kisoi pats my back. That was amazing, Finn. Shutting down your ship. How'd you think of that? Instinct, I guess. The grin on my face says otherwise. Ron moves to stand beside me. As I said, he gloats, you just needed the right motivation. Motivation? I say in disbelief. Looked like you just wanted to win. Ron shrugs. Like good old times. The memories flood back and ease the tension from my face. But listen, Mr. High and Mighty. Round 2 is going to be different. We're standing side by side when Ron's Jericho watch lights up. He unlocks the screen, swiping to a notification symbol. Ron's face lights with unmistakable delight. What does it say? Kisoi asks. Ron turns towards me. Guess what? We've got a mission. Naki crosses her arms, leaning against the elevator wall. Guess Ulmu wants to test you out on the battlefield. She sounds somber. It looks like she wanted her own mission. Kisoi taps me on the shoulder, drawing my attention away from Naki. It's okay, Finn, he insists. We're rooting for both of you. Nguyen sprints up into Naki's arms, managing a supportive smile. That's right. Good luck. Ron and I enter a different elevator, parting ways with the Losers Club. Once the elevator doors close, Ron pumps his fists, smiling like a madman. I can't wait to see what Umul's got for us. Maybe it's a murder mystery, or a political scandal. His imagination runs wild. I'm not sure I'm ready for that. He shoves me, sending me stumbling into the wall. You've got me. No matter what, I'll make sure you live. Funny, that's coming from the guy who would have blown our ships to smithereens during our race. I'll assume I need to rely on my own brains most of the time. Not that Ron's abundance of enthusiasm isn't welcome. We reach the top level. The elevator doors whoosh open and Ron beelines into Ulmu's office. I follow, and we stand at attention while Ulmu types on his holographic keyboard. As soon as he sees us, he smiles. Stand easy, gentlemen. I hear that you two had an exciting race today. Congratulations, Finn. A neat maneuver. Thank you, sir. I grin. Right then. Now, please be seated. We sit in the comfortable guest chairs. He immediately leans into his desk, retrieving a small oblong box. He stands, coming to where I'm sitting, and hands me the box. You may find this useful, he says with a smile. Carefully, I pry the box open. My glasses? No, something's different. The rims are thicker, with a slight pearl gray and navy trim. Beside the right hinge is a button. Ulmu nods. I figured you'd need these. Take care of them. He goes back behind his desk and leans across it. And don't lose them. Looking at Ron for guidance, he furrows his brow, shrugging. Gingerly, I slide the glasses up my nose, and I'm fascinated when the lens light up neon blue. A line of text reads, Move Memorizer Interface Initiated. No way. My hand covers my shocked expression. Ulmu winks with his 2 left eyes. I had your Draconian friend assist in the modifications. I think we'll keep this particular undertaking a secret. Yes, sir. The lenses fade to clear and are adjusted to the strength of my old pair. This is amazing. A squeaking sound comes from Ron's chair as he leans back. If they had laser beams, that would have been way cooler. Ulmu shakes his head, smiling. I ordered you two here to give you the details of your mission. Ron leans forward again, quickly placing his elbows on his knees and rubbing his hands greedily, like a child eager for a treat. Your mission is located at map marker KA-2022, the planet Creyenia. Ulmu knits his hands together. It is a planet inhabited by the Galaxies, peaceful shadow people settled in the dense forests of Creyenia. The description calls up strange imagery of haunted woodlands filled with ghost-like aliens. The Galaxies worship a sort of god tree named Gakit, who, for hundreds of years, has populated them with new beings at the end of every moon cycle, he continues. Rather like a tree shedding seeds, you could say. Recently, however, the tree's grown sickly and has stopped creating populace. Unless the Galaxies find an answer, they're facing extinction. Your job is to examine the tree, then relay your findings back to Altair so that we may look for a cure. Any further details you may acquire will be sent to your Jericho watches. This is a simple relay mission? Ron rolls his eyes, but Ulmu remains patient. Ron, you may be capable of completing high-ranking missions, but your brother needs experience. A mission like this is a good first step, requiring, as it does, diplomacy, not your strongest characteristic. He waves his hand dismissively. Now, no more complaining. You will leave immediately. I've instructed Laurier to transport Finn's battleship onto Ionia. This mission shouldn't take longer than 2 or 3 days. Understood? My back straightens. Yes, sir. Ron shrugs, a coy grin on his face. Cool beans. Now, go. And good luck. Arriving at the launch bay, I'm once again impressed by Ionia's size. She is massive, especially considering she'll have a crew of just 2. My Moon Series 200, Luna, and Ron's Comet Series 300 are being loaded and locked into position through the ship's launch portals. I don't know why they're bothering. We're not likely to need them. Don't look so glum, I tell him. This is my first mission. Did you really expect to be sent on a murder mystery? Ron rolls his shoulders, letting loose a huge yawn. Oh, when you say it like that, I guess not. I just get so bored. Boarding, our boots clank against the loading bay as Ionia's launch portals close. You better be a fast learner, bro. We have a long way to go before Earth becomes a known planet. I pass in front of him into the airlock. Let's take our time, Ron. Slow and steady wins the race. Once the airlock is secure, we stand in the crew lounge. Ron gestures towards the far wall. I added your ID to the weapons locker. Go ahead and grab your equipment. I walk across to the locker and use the retinal scanner for access. I grab a plasma pistol, folding it into a square, and a photon blaster along with a leg holster and leg pouch, which I put on. The photon blaster is now nestled against my left leg. Looking down at the argon bombs, I grimace. Too much? Or not enough? I grip 2 of them, placing them in my pouch. Please, don't blow my leg to smithereens. I metaphorically knock on wood. Now that I am armed, we head straight up to the flight deck. My fingers lace around the metal bars lifting me up the ladder. I jump into the co-pilot seat and ensure that my safety harness is locked. I spot my reflection in the windshield. There are dark circles under my eyes, and below are small cuts on my upper lip. Ron takes his place in the pilot seat, straps in, and activates Eon. Ionia, case file Galaus. Insert coordinates. Coordinates assessed. KA-2022. Ionia gives a gentle shake, preparing for launch. Ron takes us up rough and choppy, leaving Altair behind in the distance. Boosting into space, he blasts Ionia into hyperdrive. Inside, a flash of brilliant white light, we zoom through the cosmos at light speed. Ron studies me, and grins. So, what you think about Naki? Oh no. I shrug. She's nice, but so are Nguyen and Kisoi. He smiles ear to ear. I point an accusatory finger. No, Ron, don't do this again. Again? Back when we were in school, you always tried to pair me with the other girls in my class. Not interested. All boys are interested in girls. Well, most of them. He attempts to hold back his laugh. I know he can sense the conversation bothers me. Listen, little bro, I know you ain't ever been on a solid date. How would you know? You disappeared for 5 years, remember? I can tell by the blush on your cheeks. Jerk. He finally bursts out into laughter. If you want first date recommendations, hit me up. I know everything there's to know about the ladies. He thumps his chest in a congratulatory manner. You think you're a ladies' man? I ask. Sure am, dude. Looking back at him with an evil gleam in my eyes, a memory floods in. What about that time you sneezed into that girl's soda cup on your first date to the movie theater? Ron's eyes go wide. His lips tighten, and he crosses his arms. Trust you to remember that. Her name was Samantha, and that never happened. So you say. I grin. There's no time left for joshing each other as we burst out of hyperdrive. Ron's Jericho watch immediately starts flashing, warning of an incoming message. Ron accesses it and scans it. What? I ask. Well, it's not good news. Apparently this place has an unbreathable atmosphere. We'll have to suit up. He looks up from his watch. Whoa, geez, would you look at that? He exclaims. I look ahead, and on the horizon, a shocking view wipes the grin off my face. Creyenia circles around 3 identical silver moons. Pallid, dark gray clouds loom over shadowy treetops. Light years away, a red giant blasts scorching hot rays of light across the misty topography. As Ron takes us down into the atmosphere, our windshield fogs up, and droplets of rain hamper our vision. Ron uses Ionia's surprisingly efficient air blasters to clear the raindrops away. Dipping into the lush forest, darkness overtakes us. Creepy. A shrivel trickles up my spine. Ron takes over the controls from Eon and sets us down carefully. He tells Eon to close down, and Ionia's engines go silent. I assume we aren't getting a formal greeting, he says. Maybe we won't meet anybody. Well, alrighty, let's haul off. He stands, taking a moment to stretch. He looks at me, still sitting in my seat. Come on, up and at 'em. Time to suit up. He starts off down the ladder. Following him down to the crew deck, I stick my white sash in a loop. We draw spacesuits from their storage locker and climb into them. We then arrange our weapons for quick access, and I struggle with adjusting my DPE to ease the pressure off of my back. Do you guys have chiropractors on Altair? I ask. No, but I'm sure Miv could crack your limbs like a glow stick. Ron opens the inside door of the airlock. We squeeze in. The door closes behind us and the airlock cycles. As soon as it finishes, Ron opens the outer hatch and the ramp glides out. We step onto Creyenian soil and Ron closes the entry hatch. Looking out, the darkness of the forest is instantly disturbing, and I feel a twinge of fear in my gut. The tree branches are like hands clawing at the sky. I can envision them scratching my face, trying to gouge my eyes out. Stepping into the damp air, each step is harder to take than the last. Looking down, I see that the ground is soft and mushy all around us. Beneath the thick moss, I hear the swoosh of wet dirt and rainwater. Ron shields his eyes with his left hand, staring up at the cloudy sky. Ugh, should have brought a raincoat. Next time, remind me to check the weather network before landing on an alien planet. Suddenly, we hear branches crack. The bushes rustle. Death to the intruders! Oh, that doesn't sound good. Reaching into my back pocket, I arm myself with my plasma pistol, triggering its transformation from hilt to handle. Quick as lightning, I aim at a pair of heads. Ron steps forward, his hand lingering against his holsters. 2 medium-sized shadow figures, dressed in primitive armor made from wood, burst from the tree line, bearing wooden spears tipped with polished stone. The pointed ends are aimed towards us. They remain calm, like seasoned hunters. We're from Altair, Ron calls. We're the Citadel members sent to examine the tree. We're here to help you. Ron lowers his gun. See? Friends. The Galaus lower their spears. They have humanoid bodies made entirely from swirling mist. The tops of their heads flicker like smoke curling from a burning fire. One of the men sighs, his white eyes staring at both of us. We've never seen your kind before. What is your purpose here? My name is Ron Bates. I'm a human from planet Earth, and an Aver Bronze from the Citadel's Altair outpost. This is Finn Bates, Aster Bronze. The Galaus on the right glares at us. These words mean nothing to us. How are you to help? Ron steps forward, placing his hands on his hips. We were informed that Gakit is dying, right? The two Galaus men seem perturbed. This is a simple relay mission. Gamira. A new name? She must have... The Galaus pause. Come with us. Our elder will explain further. With that, we strike out into the forest, leaving Ionia and the safety of our ship behind. We stick close to them as they push away looming foliage and sharp branches. Ron jabs my shoulder. Call me crazy, but I don't think this is going to be a relay mission. Yeah, I caught on to that too, I tell him. Should we turn back, do you think? Heck no, dude. This is our chance to show Ulmu we can handle larger missions. Sounds reckless, I venture. Reckless is just another word for fun, he replies. For 3 minutes we plow through the unforgiving terrain before breaking into a clearing. Rows of thick trees border a flattened path on the further side. This is our capital, Gyra, our guide says. When the god tree Gakit gifts us with new lives, many come here to spend their remaining years in peace, until we eventually fade, returning to the stars. He looks at the sky longingly. Inside these trees we nest, spending the long nights sharing tree bark and protecting our own. Now that we've recently become a known planet, your Citadel offers us new knowledge and protection. The soldier bows his head, a small gesture of appreciation. He turns on his heels to guide us through Gyra. The homes of the Galaus are in trees, and are accessed by wooden staircases that climb up to the branches. I am enamored by the beautiful fairy lights tied along rope bridges connecting their homes. Bundles of soft grass are beautifully decorated into dens. It appears that most Galaus sleep on moss beds, sharing bark, eating the plantation like beef jerky. They look happy, talking in a foreign language that gets roughly translated by my earpiece. Our elder Girit and her apprentice Gamira live here. Our guide gestures to the largest oak tree with his spear. They will not have been expecting you. One of the two guards goes ahead to announce, and then returns. Girit will see you, he tells us, and then he and his companion walk away, holding their weapons high and proud. The opening to Girit's abode is carved by hand from the wood of a large branch that grows across the entrance. Another Galaus is standing beside the fabric-covered doorway and greets us as we enter. She's a female, judging by her long hair whips cascading down the nape of her neck. She's wearing a flowery summer-type dress fashioned with large leaves and vines. Her facial features are dark like the others, but her large, twinkling silver eyes show childish wonder. A smile forms on her gray lips, and, in her arms, she holds a number of Citadel-sanctioned books. So happy that you're here to help us, she chimes. She places the books on the moss bed and grabs my hand in an awkward shake. My name is Gamira. I'm Girit's apprentice and the first Galaus to learn Citadel tech. I'm considered to be kinda a genius. I'm almost thought of a god myself, which is fun. Anyway, cool outfits. You guys are armed to the teeth. While she rambles, Gamira doesn't unhand me. Her skin is colder than the peak of Mount Everest. I grit my teeth against the pain. Nice to meet you, Gamira. My name is Finn. She finally lets go, shaking Ron's hand. My name is Ron. I notice that he gets goosebumps on his arms. When she releases his hand, he rubs the warmth back. Ron and Finn. Super duper cool names. A new voice speaks, deep and raspy, from behind a curtain at the back of the entranceway. Down, Gamira. We have serious matters to attend to. I'm sure these men don't want their ears talked off. I smile at Gamira, who pouts and picks up her books again, hugging them to her chest. I don't mind, I tell the mysterious voice emanating from the hidden room behind the drape. Gamira turns, leading us past the drapes. Inside, the Galausi elder sits, cross-legged, on a flower bed. Girret has a wooden walking cane and a hunched back. She's many feet shorter than Ron. Her wispy hair flows down to her knees. I am Girret, the eldest Galaxy on Creyenia. She gives a simple head nod to Gamira, who quickly sits beside her. Please, sit. We sit on the soft moss. I rest my hands firmly in my lap. I told Gamira to send a request to the Citadel for advice on our current problem. I was not expecting them to send you here to help us. Ron flashes her a startled look. I'm sorry, Elder Girret, but we were ordered simply to examine Gakit and report our findings, in order that we might find a treatment. Your apprentice said that she was glad that we were here to help you, which makes it sound as if you are expecting something more. Gamira stares into the distance. Girret shoots a harsh glance her way, causing the young apprentice to flinch. Gamira, the elder demands, what exactly did you message the Citadel? Gamira's dark lips tighten into a frown. You know we couldn't afford to tell them the whole truth, so I might have underestimated our predicament. You lied, the elder snaps. But Elder Girret, if we told them about the murders, we wouldn't be able to afford their support. Afford our support? I thought the Citadel willingly helped known planets out of benefit of membership. I don't understand, I say. I gesture to Ron, who has an uptight look on his face. What do you two mean you couldn't afford to tell the truth? Ron looks uncomfortable. I should have told you, bro. But I knew it would have left a bad taste in your mouth. The Citadel has to pay us somehow, in galaxy coin. And we extract that from struggling people. An edge of poison seeps into my words. Girret raises her wooden staff, waving it. We understand the importance of the Citadel. We offer payments as best we can. Unfortunately, the more difficult our problems, the more the Citadel charges. It seems young Gamira knew our funds were running short and informed the Citadel that our predicament was a simple relay mission. When, in fact, it's not. Now it's Elder Girret who looks uncomfortable. No, she replies sadly. Not if you are to help us. Gakit is in fact sick. But more worryingly, members of our community are also missing. We sent the bulk of our male militia to investigate, and they have not returned. Gamira pleads. We think Gakit has gone mad. If we told the Citadel this, they would send an experienced platoon, and we can't afford that. She bows, looking up at us with eyes full of hope. Please help us. I want to say yes, but Ron seems to be deep in thought, brows knitted in contemplation. Girret beckons for his attention. There is much danger, and I do not want your blood on my hands. That's when Ron breaks out into a wide smile. Who am I kidding? We're in. Sounds like a blast. Girret's eye twitches. Pardon? We'll do what we can, Ron tells her. On our home planet, we don't desert a friend in need. Gamira beams with joy. She looks as though she's about to jump to her feet and dance around the hollow. Don't worry about us, Elder Girret, Ron assures. My little bro and I got this one in the bag. A smile lights up the elder's face. On behalf of all my people, I thank you. She turns to Gamira. Now, Gamira, why don't you point these gentlemen towards the southern path? Gamira claps her hands. We don't have the galaxy coin to pay you for your trouble, but if there's anything else we can do, please tell us. We stand to our feet, and a wave of pride rushes over me. Here I am, the hero, about to save these Galaxy people in glorious butt-kicking action. Or, at least, that's what I imagine. Gamira escorts us to Gyra's Edge, facing the heart of their territory and to the start of a well-trodden path covered with damp foliage. Admittedly, the forest sends a chill down my spine, but I'm high enough on my metaphorical horse to ignore the sensation. Go ahead, Ron. I'll be right behind you, I say, and we set off down the track. As Gamira watches us trek into the forest, she calls out, Follow this path. It'll lead you directly to the tree. And be careful. She waves, but as soon as that hand falls, I see a look of deep concern cross her face. I can't stop to question her, as Ron is already pushing past the tree line and is nearly out of sight. As I hurry to catch up with him, I stumble along as my foot catches in various roots and branches. We continue towards our goal. The air grows considerably thicker. My feigned confidence is starting to wane. Ron must be feeling it too, because he looks back at me. "You know," he says quietly, "a smart person would say we should turn back." "You saying I'm not smart?" I demand, my voice rising with anger. Ron laughs. "Just making sure we're on the same page. Meaning, we're both idiots." Summoning the image of Gyra and its citizens, I calm down. It's not Girat's fault her homeland isn't rich enough to afford proper help. We can't just leave them like this. I wouldn't sleep at night. I agree. We walk until the sky darkens. Behind the twilight veil of night, millions of stars appear, and the moons cast silver beams upon the treetops. Ron's square jaw and sharp features are masked by the shadows. Only his wide brown eyes and figure are visible from a distance. Crack! Ron marches on, unaware of the sound. I grab his equipment pack, bringing him to a halt. Whoa, what are you... Shh! Didn't you hear that? There's someone or something in the undergrowth. We stare at a nearby clump of bushes, half concealed by looming trees. Ron's right hand reaches for his leg pouch, and he pulls out a neo-bracer. "Who's there? Come on out," he calls. I half expect a spawn to propel itself from the bushes and bite Ron's hand off. I grab the compact square of my plasma pistol. "Wait!" a familiar female voice cries, and Gamira emerges from the trees. "Gamira, what are you doing here? You should be back in the village." She bites her lip. I know, I just... We reholster our weapons, walking towards her. "You're gonna get yourself hurt, you know. Why'd you follow us?" She looks down at the ground to mask her expression. My best friend, Gurib, was part of the battalion sent to investigate Gakit. I've wanted to find him myself, but Elder Girat refuses. She says the role of a scholar is too important. Ron's look is compassionate, yet firm. Elder Girat is correct. I understand you want to save your friend, but you have no battle experience. The tree could be capable of anything. Gamira is clearly distraught. Her eyes fill with frustrated tears. "Just go home," Ron tells her gently. For the first time since we've been reunited, Ron sounds mature and fatherly. He turns, heels digging into the mud, leaving her to face his back. "Wait a minute!" She stomps her foot and mud squishes between her toes, leaving a deep imprint. "Ever since the Citadel allowed us to join as a known planet, we've been given access to Citadel libraries. I've been reading about dark magic, wondering why us Galausi are born from it." She pauses, and a tear rolls down her cheek. I think Gakit is inherently evil." I interject. "But even if it is, the Galaus themselves aren't evil. Just because the god tree was born from dark magic doesn't mean it's necessarily..." Gamira stops me. "Please, Finn. You'll understand when you see it." She faces me with unyielding determination. "When we're born, Gakit burns into our memories, the evil emanating from it. It drives some Galausi mad." She turns back to Ron. "Take me with you. I'm a scholar. I know Gakit better than anybody. I'll be the one who documents the truth. The other Galausi are stubborn, and I need to bring Guru back. He's my best friend. Galaus aren't born with parents. Friends are all we have." Ron hears the intensity in her voice and sees the pleading look in her eyes. He groans. "Ugh, what kind of first-class soldier am I?" He throws his arms in the air. "Right, okay, fine, you can come." "Oh, thank you. You won't regret it, I promise." "Just stay close to us. Don't do anything reckless." We continue our journey for another 15 minutes. Ron is at the front of the line. Gamira, now a part of our merry band of misfits, is close behind him, and I bring up the rear. Gamira remains on edge. I can tell because of her labored breathing and irregular footsteps. "It should be here," Gamira warns Ron and me. past those large prickle bushes. As we approach the bushes, a strong gust of wind sweeps in, blowing the sharp spines into our path. Ron moves forward with extreme caution, and I move up close so that he and I can sandwich Cavanah from the worst of the damage that they can inflict. Fortunately, our spacesuits act like armor, and we're able to press on until we break free into a clearing. My eyes widen. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. Gakit towers above us, blocking the moonlit sky. Its arm-like branches coil upwards, leeching life from the nearby trees like a growing infection. The god tree's bark is ebony and blood red. Large fissures split the mighty trunk into sections, revealing wounded and exposed innards. Black sap leaks from Gakit's wounds, dripping to the forest floor. Each hefty droplet sinks into ankle-deep mud. Ron is equally stunned by this sight. He turns to Cavanah. Has it always looked like this? It wasn't bleeding before, Cavanah says. The forest is eerily quiet. Even the wind has stopped to catch its breath. If Gurub's platoon went missing, they aren't here now. Both hands find his holsters, drawing his neo-bracers. Stay where you are, Cavanah. She reluctantly obeys, stepping into the shadows of the trees. Her gray eyes are her only discernible feature. That's when a monstrous caterwaul erupts throughout the clearing. The sound echoes, and I stare at Ron's stomach. Was that you? His scowl answers that question. The monstrous cry increases in volume, blasting my helmet's earpieces and causing my head to throb. Cavanah covers her ears, but she is definitely also in pain. The ground beneath my boots trembles with aftershock. Another quake causes my boot to slip into a crack, slamming my backpack against a rock before I have time to react. Ron's concerned cry pulls my attention to Gakit. Within its core, waves of energy crackle and snap through the air, literally causing my hair to stand on end. Ron leaps to my aid, pulling me to my feet. I shout into my throat mic, "We need to get out of here!" A high-pitched, monstrous caterwaul causes both of us to cry out in pain. We backpedal from the painful screech. "What the hell is that core in its chest?" I shout. "I don't know," Ron says, "but whatever it is, it certainly isn't friendly." A series of splits run in a straight line up the bark, some wider than others. As we watch, one of them spits out hot, sticky sap the color of tar all over us. We wipe the dark fluid from our visors in time to see Gakit lift itself out of the ground, pulling on its roots. In the center of the largest split in the trunk, a gem, dark as night, is lodged, and it pulsates with energy. As we stand mesmerized by the sight, the trunk splits, revealing a mind-bending spiral lined with rows of razor-sharp teeth, snapping and biting in our direction. Adrenaline courses through my body. Oh yeah, this is way worse than a spawn attack. That's when I spot them. Behind Gakit, tucked low to the ground, is a humanoid figure. Its glowing emerald eyes meet mine. I swear I can see a thin-toothed smile hidden behind the shrubbery. Who is that? My question is lost in the sea of chaos. Ron's yell breaks my trance. Watch out! A log twice the size of my body hurtles towards me. I manage to react in time. The projectile misses my helmet by about a handspread. On my knees, I watch helplessly as Gakit drags itself across the ground, leaving a trough in its wake. Tiny branches reach out, attempting to maul our faces. A branch wraps around my left foot. Oh yeah, this is gonna test my spacesuit. The thought does little to quell the inevitable. I'm lifted off the ground. Blood rushes to the top of my head. The world becomes a twisted mess, and my back impacts to the ground. I flip onto my stomach. My body tingles head to toe with shock and pain. In a futile attempt to slow Gakit, I dig my fingernails into the dirt, but Gakit holds firm. Its immense strength pulls me towards its gaping maw. A trio of plasma bolts whirs past my head, breaking the dense wood. My captor squeals. The branch constraining my ankle snaps as Ron's arms wrap under my elbows, dragging me to my feet. I'm gonna admit, we're a bit unprepared. He drags me towards Cavanah. She's hiding in the trees, paralyzed by fear. But when we reach her, she grabs my hand, Her voice is shrill with concern. Are you okay? The question brings my attention to the increasing tension on my spine. Sorry, guys. No time to check. He shoves us both between the shoulders. Run, now, while we can. We need no urging and move as fast as we can. We do little to outrun the monster's pursuit. It barrels through the woodland, smashing everything in its path and utterly destroying any life below. We can't outrun it! Ron's head twists, spotting something behind us. His mouth parts to yell a warning, but his body is already closing the gap between us. He tackles us into the ground, and the three of us land in a heap. A giant log whooshes past our heads, exploding a nearby canopy. Panting and wheezing, Ron scoops Gamira into his arms, bridal style. What are you doing? She demands. No offense, but you don't run very fast. We need to get to higher ground. He frantically nods to the treetops. How will that help stopping a 30-foot alien tree? But blindly, I follow his order. Pinning my sights on the tallest tree I can find, I twist my hips, aiming my DPE. All right. Don't mess this up like in weapons training. The hook thwacks into the thick bark. That's better. Hitting the acceleration button, my feet land squarely on the trunk. My hands are struggling to grip the nearest branch. Pulling myself over, I glance across the path. Ron and Gamira are also in the safety of a tree, looking down at the enemy. That's when I realize. Gakit has no eyes. That's why Ron wants us in the trees. It senses vibrations. Confirming my theory, I study Gakit's roots as they scour the ground, searching for us, and my eyes are drawn to its center. So what is that crystal in its chest? I stare at the dark swirling mass of power. That's clearly what's causing it to go insane. If we stop that power source, we might win. One of the monster's limbs coils around the base of Ron and Gamira's hiding place. Ron adjusts himself, his left foot knocking against the closest branch. The slight vibration causes Gakit's feelers to twitch. It roars and lunges, barreling against the tree, ripping its roots. Gamira jumps to a nearby branch, slamming her ribcage, then slipping. Her left hand manages to grip tight as she dangles 12 feet in the air. Ron grabs his plasma pistol and fires 2 beams into the enemy's thick bark, splattering sap into the leaves. The monster rears up. It swings directly at him, and I see my brother's horrified expression as the trunk slams square into his chest. The lateral blow does not tear through the armored spacesuit, but he tumbles to the ground, landing with a heavy thwack. The front of his helmet is buried in the dirt. His eyes are shut, and his hand isn't moving. I know one thing for certain. I have to save them. Gakit twists its spine, the dark rays of its mysterious energy blasting radioactive heat. I have no time to hesitate. I fire my DPE, nailing its trunk. A branch rises to deal damage, but I leap into the air, reeling myself in towards the enemy. As I near it, I angle my feet, landing on one of its arms. Here I am, ugly. I can feel the heat from Gakit's energy overcoming the cooling in my suit, which I've set to maximum, yet I hold firm. The adrenaline from watching Ron get knocked unconscious is enough to raise a vicious animal in me. In the corner of my eye, past the mess of tangled leaves, I spot Gamira jumping to the ground, ducking under Gakit's roots. She grabs my brother by the underarms, dragging him to the nearest bush. Shifting balance to my hips, I place one hand on Gakit, the other into my pocket. Fishing out my plasma pistol, I point the barrel towards Gakit's heart and fire. Bam! My arm slightly recoils, muscles retracting from kickback. Gakit screams in agony as the brilliant crystal chips. Within the white noise, 3 branches find me, wrapping around my core like a cocoon. I sail from the god tree in a daze, before landing in a heap on the ground. My head throbs. Breathing is nearly impossible, and every muscle is on fire. Between the olive, beige, and black blurs, Ron is now conscious again. He stumbles to his feet, glaring defiance at my approaching enemy. Why don't you fight me, you ugly garden sprout? 2 powerful laser beams streak towards Gakit, cutting the mighty god tree down the middle, leaving a 2-foot gash in its wake. Ron spins round, with Gamira hot on his heels. Circling around him, she leaps to help me to my feet. We have to hide. I turned in time to see Ron pivot as his leg gives out. Slam! He face plants into the dirt. He grabs his ankle and squeezes. Ron, your foot! It's just a sprain, he winces. Keep running. Gakit is still reeling from Ron's attack. Gamira rushes to help me drag Ron into the underbrush. My brother's injury causes us to stumble into the nearest thicket. We can lose it, Gamira whispers. Lay on your stomach. Hold your breath. Gakit stands where we once were, branches searching for any signs of life. I suck in a deep breath and hold it until I think it'll burst. However, it works. Gakit flails around for a moment or two longer, but, finding nothing but air in its path, realizes its prey has escaped. It continues, pulling its roots, trampling into the distance. We're safe for now, Gamira mutters. Keeping my mic volume low, I whisper to Ron. We need to find a way to fight that thing somehow. You're right. What we need is a plan. Got any bright ideas? I told you, Ron. I'm not the experienced one here. This is my first mission. Or have you forgotten that? My fiery response triggers resolve within him. No, I certainly haven't. Umu and I have placed faith in you for a reason. We could have picked any genius from Earth. So why do you think we picked you? I'm stunned by his comments and the seeming reversal of our roles, and don't know how to respond. Gamira breaks in on our exchange. Guys? Her trembling finger points towards the treetops. Whatever plan we have, we better execute it quickly. Gakit is heading straight for Gyra. Mere seconds have passed, yet the monster has already managed to gain considerable distance between us and it. Groaning in pure frustration, I jump from the bushes onto the demolished path. It's too strong to take on alone. We need to call in reinforcements. My depressed disposition is met with Ron's fierce determination. By the time they get here, it'll be too late. We just need to be careful. Ron manages to put pressure on his ankle. His lips tighten in concentration as he pushes past the pain. And call me crazy, he continues, but the missing Galaus might be inside that tree. Gamira's jaw goes slack at this suggestion. She stands up and faces my brother, her tight-knit expression urging him to continue. Gakit gifts the Galaus with life. Maybe it can take it back. The idea sends a shiver down my spine. It's just a hypothesis, but the most likely one. Gamira's smoky cheeks turn white. Oh no, you're right, she groans. Gurib. They might still be alive, Ron assures her, placing a gentle touch on her shoulder. We don't know what the magic crystal is or what it's capable of, but we do need to find out. Ron begins limping down the path, waving for us to follow. It's painful to watch him stumble on one busted ankle. We'll doom an entire race to extinction if we blindly attack. Gritting our teeth, we clamber over fallen trees, bypassing bushes that block our path. My back hurts and my legs ache abominably from exertion. Why does Ron have to put so much faith in me? His compliments are sincere, yet they feel like they're double-edged swords. I can't solve an equation if I don't have all the variables. My eyes widen. Wait, it's simple. He just said it. The core. Excitedly, I slap Ron's shoulder, catching his attention. It's simple, I tell him, like a boss battle in a video game. We'll keep our distance, up in the treetops, so Gakit struggles to sense us. Then, we can strike at the heart with one well-aimed projectile. An argon bomb should do the trick. A huge smile cracks on Ron's face. Numbers rush through my mind. The memory of our previous encounter forms a charter in my brain. Gakit's swinging range is roughly 18 feet. I flip my attention to Gamira. You have to find a way around the tree, and convince everyone there to evacuate the town. Lead your people to our transport ship. Okay, I'll manage it somehow, she promises, and slips away into the forest. Finn. The urgency in his voice brings me to an immediate halt. In the distance, the claw-like branches of our enemy glide through the treetops, and we hear a chorus of screaming. Ron grits his teeth. I'll distract it. You go through with the plan. What about your ankle? I point to the swollen appendage. I should be the distraction. You won't last long. Gakit will kill you. You're untrained and inexperienced, my brother says, his voice conveying his concern. I'm the Aver in charge of protecting you, and I aim to do just that. Okay? Just don't take a coffee break. He pats me on the shoulder, and I see a look of grim determination through his visor. I steady my labored breathing. Okay, I nod. I'm not going to let you down. I know. Standing at the edge of the disaster zone, at the start of the southern path, I begin to worry about what I've taken on. Gamira is urging the Galaxies citizens who swarm like ants, desperately trying to escape their homes. Into the Western Wood! There's safety in the Western Wood, she repeats. Run, now! Handfuls of Galaus clear the area. Those few that are left have injuries too severe to vacate them in a hurry. They drag themselves under cover. Clearing out the main paths, Gakit swings one of its many branches, twisting around a house with unbelievable strength and digging into the bark. Debris from the demolished home smothers the crops and flower beds so carefully set out by the Galaus. The rope bridges snap like rubber bands. Multiple Galausi citizens are caught under the roofs, suffocating beneath its sheer mass. I can hardly even fire my DPE. How am I supposed to land a sniper shot into its core? What are we waiting for? Ron begins jogging in place. Gakit circles to face us as it detects our movement. Behind Ron, I spot a mighty oak-like tree. It's the perfect vantage point. You're right. Let's do this. Tiptoeing a few paces, I cross the path, tucking behind a fallen Galausi home. Fallen leaves and petals sticking to my muddy suit. Ron begins his distraction, charging into the fray, stomping on the ground like a child having a tantrum. Hey! Ron's arms wave frantically through the air. Over here, you son of a shrub! It takes 1 second for Gakit to see my brother as the main threat. The god tree roars in defiance. All right, so it's distracted. Now's my chance. Turning, I fire my DPE, zooming up into the tree, pushing past a mess of foliage. I manage to land with both feet on a branch. You couldn't have hit a bug if it was sleeping on your nose, Ron shouts, his voice amplified by the external speaker buds on our spacesuits. His voice draws my attention away from the struggling victims. A wooden arm lumbers towards my brother. He ducks, dodging the appendage with ease. He uses the audio alarm to let loose an ear-piercing whistle. Gakit's bark twists, revealing its blackened heart lodged between the diamond-shaped crystal. I can sense the beast's rising irritation. Ron continues to mock the creature. Is that really the best you can do? Maybe he's taking this a bit too far. Suddenly, I remember the special glasses Ulmu gave me. I can copy Ron's attack patterns. That'll double my chances of landing a critical hit. Activate glasses, I say, praying that the glasses are integrated into the suit's AI pack. Immediately, a blue light beam coats Ron with a subtle outline, following his every movement and storing it away into the AI's memory. A young female AI, much like Ionia, whispers in my ear. Pattern detected, storing into the database. The second attack comes bolting towards Ron's face. He crouches as it narrowly misses his helmet. He plants his good foot on a root. Like an acrobat on a tightrope, Ron teeters before leaping with all his might. Unfortunately, he gained little height. His face is contorted with concentration and pain. Unholstering his bracers, he slices a V shape, leaving an unimpressive mark on the base of the god's spine. A swear word forms on his lips as he's knocked off the root, spiraling through the air and tumbling onto the reed-covered roof of a nearby still intact building. His limbs flail, trying to find something to grab onto, but they only dig into dirt. Damn it, I still can't get a good shot. Spotting a nearby Galaus building that's also still intact, I leap, attempting to get an adequate opening to attack. My landing is far more graceful. I might be getting the hang of this. Again, the creature moves erratically, its attention continually shifting between Ron and the remaining citizens. Inside the collapsed home, Ron's bloody fingers curl around a rock and he pulls himself up, but it's obvious that he's weakening. Through his visor, I can see blood trickling from a cut on his forehead. The situation has become desperate. I reach into my pocket, finding the base of the argon bomb. If an opening isn't created soon, I'll have no choice but to jump into action. The idea of dying on my first mission isn't a pleasant thought. Gakit raises 5 branches, spinning them together to form a malformed fist. My brother pulls himself from the den, eyes fraught with rising concern. He moves, trying to find a defensive position, but his leg gives out, pushing him to his knees. Twisting, he fires his DPE straight into my tree. The god tree's fist catapults towards him, but Ron skids out of the way like a car drifting on a racetrack as he triggers the DPE twice, which reels him in double time. But he gets wrapped up in the line. Looking down at him just below me, I know that it's now or never. My glasses beep. Move pattern, Ron Bates. Memorized. Gakit turns around, its attention dead set on my vulnerable brother wrapped up like a Christmas gift. All of the god tree's branches rise towards us, revealing the heart in all its horrific glory. Access file, Ron Bates. Ron Bates, confirmed. A slew of lightning-fast information explodes into my brain. With no further hesitation, I launch from the sanctuary, slingshotting through the open air. My quick reflexes square my feet, meeting the heart head-on. The energy core once again whips against my helmet like a tornado. Gakit screeches in confusion. Branches rush to defend itself from every direction. My world moves in slow motion, every sensation alive and beating. The argon bomb's cover flicks open between my thumb, revealing a bright blue button, the color of a pulsing dot on my ledger. Raising my arm, I force feed the bomb into the heart. It sucks me up to my elbow like a vacuum. My muscles tighten, blood pumping as I try to pull back. Breaking from Gakit's powerful suction, unhanding the bomb, my arm finally rips free. Even with the protection of my armored suit, every tendon feels like it's been scraped with a dull knife. For what feels like an eternity, the black crystal kicks and punches at Gakit's insides. My vision fades into darkness. Everything silent. Am I dead? Tick. I suck hot air into my lungs. In the distance, a desperate voice screams, Finn, jump! The darkness lightens, and I see the crystal spiraling like a teeterum. I'm hypnotized. Tick. Let go, or you'll die! Ron? Self-awareness trickles in. Making my body go limp, I fall backwards, then roll to propel myself straight downwards. Arms wrap around my core, turning the world into a tumbling mess as I hit the ground. What just happened? Where am I? I'm face down in the dirt. I piece together that Ron caught me mid-fall. His arms are desperately wrapped around my shoulders. Behind him, flailing branches and roots swish through the air, clinging to life. The bomb is about to explode. Ron shields me, enveloping me in blackness. A max-level earthquake accompanied by a blast of wind blows around us, rocketing us on our precarious perch. My eyes now wide open, I watch as the fuel from the argon bomb causes streams of fire to cascade up Gakit's body. Gakit projectile vomits the crystal from its core. Sparks of dying energy crackle through the air, hurtling it into the nearby undergrowth. The tree continues to writhe and screech like a beached squid, struggling to find air. Suddenly, it tremors from its roots up, stiffening. The dying flames illuminate the town orangish red. The god tree remains still. We stare at the blackened trunk for a long time, but there's no sign of life. Did we win? I think we did, Ron mumbles, his tangled DPE still resting by his feet. He reels it in as I examine the chaos. Gyra is silent as the dead. Galaxy citizens are scattered amongst the debris. Many lay wounded, staring at their destroyed city with defeated expressions. A young Galaxy woman wearing an amber leaf dress rummages through debris, searching for something. Silver droplets rolled slowly down her dark gray skin. This doesn't feel like a win. Finn! Ron! Gamira hurtles towards us from the western wood. Her arms find our shoulders as she addresses both of us, her voice rushing with excitement. I managed to get most of my people to the ship. Did you... Her joyous chatter is cut short. I watch with increasing sadness as her large, dark gray eyes become filled with sorrow. My eyes take in the destroyed undergrowth. I'm unable to meet her gaze. Where is Gurub? She asks. And the other Galausi men. Did Gakit bring them back? My eyes flicker up to the god tree. It's impossible to bring myself to tell her the truth. It's too painful. I'm sorry, Ron says. I guess once Gakit takes them back. She bolts forward, kicking up mud and staining the bottom of her beautiful dress. Facing the incinerated tree, she throws her fists into the air. Give them back! Her voice breaks. Please. Other citizens stare at their scholar, visibly tongue-tied. You owe us! We saved you, so give them back! Gamira's weeping is met with deafening silence. She collapses to her knees. Ron crosses the battlefield. He gazes gently into her beautiful, tear-filled eyes. I'm sorry, Gamira. Getting on his knees beside her, Ron pulls her into a side embrace. Gamira's head collapses into the crook of my brother's neck, tears streaking the mud on his helmet. We can't bring them back. I truly wish that we could. Ron's voice breaks. His face stiffens, yet he manages to contain his tears. You did what you could, Gamira manages. Her hands cover her face as Ron supports her. The burden of her lost companions is too heavy to bear. Screw this. It's unfair. My own tears are threatening to spill over, ones of frustration-filled misery. We did what we could and defeated the enemy, but still not enough. Is this what being a soldier means? Finn. My world unexpectedly tips. Ron and Gamira now at a 90-degree angle. Gamira's crying is the backdrop for my sudden descent into delirium. The millions of pores on my skin open, cold sweat soaking the inside of my suit, making me sticky and uncomfortable. What is happening? I'm trembling, frozen in place. It's as if a ghost has possessed my body. My mind is my own, yet my muscles refuse to respond. My vision blurs. I'm standing in the destroyed city, but ghostly shadows replace the detailed figures of my brother and Gamira. Do you remember me? A shaft of dark energy projects from the undergrowth. The crystal? My body moves against my will, crossing the path. I thrust face first into the entanglement of leaves. My hands are monstrous claws digging for the mysterious object. Find me. It's calling for me, controlling me, like it did Gakit. The revelation of what's happening does little to ease my hysteria. I wish I could hear my heart or feel the dirt beneath my nails, but there's nothing but numbness and greed. I need it. I'm too weak to fight back. I think my lips twist into a wicked grin, a cackle forming in the center of my chest. Finn. An impelling male voice whispers my name as a supernatural force pulls my hand closer. You're hiding something. My body involuntarily jolts forward, grabbing the crystal tightly in my hand. What do you think I'm hiding? I ask the crystal telepathically. Tell me what you're talking about. My fingers twine around the shard. Deep within its dark material, white flecks resembling stars crisscross in hypnotic patterns. Fear runs through me, yet I hold tight. The crystal pulls me deeper, sinking into the void. My mind engages with infinity. Who are you, really? I respond with confusion. My name is Finn Bates. I'm a human from Earth. Liar. Yo, Finn, you okay? The crystal ejects me from the mental black hole. I'm suddenly devoid of all thought. Whatever this evil object is, it's in control of me now. The world remains a blur as my legs involuntarily flinch. I rise to my feet, spinning to face my brother. Gamira hangs close behind, wiping her lingering tears. Ron's eyes thin, glaring at the object in my grasp. What are you doing? That could be dangerous. We don't know what it is. It's fine. It's fine. The crystal's words are my own. My inner determination is too weak to fight back. We should leave. We should leave. My voice trembles. Ron gives a reluctant head nod. No, I'm trapped. Help me. But the crystal has my lips sewn shut. Gamira circles beside my brother, her eyes still thick with tears. The rest of my people are at your transport ship. We should go. She's right. She's right, I hear myself say. My right foot moves forward, lifting me over the bushes. Like a puppet, I move to the entrance of the western wood while Ron and Gamira follow. My head's lopsided and swinging, which makes me motion sick. My stomach twists. Turning, I mentally scream, "Help me let go of this crystal. I need to set myself free." Yet my grip is solid as iron. Are you okay? Ron's question sounds distant. You're pale as a ghost. Ensuring Gamira isn't listening, he whispers, "Hey, I know things look bleak right now, but we've done something good here. Promise." His words are almost lost against a sea of black noise, as if my spirit is detached from my body. Tell me what you're hiding, Finn. I'm not hiding anything, I retort. I mean, when I was 6, I stole a chocolate bar from the convenience store, but that's no cause to control my mind. The crystal responds with maniacal laughter. It circles my head, sending tingles down my spine. My brother's hand is a blur waving across my limited vision, but I am miles away. Hello, Urk to Finn. My breath catches in my lungs. That's when the crystal is ripped from my hands. Everything turns clear. The world flips to face me. Blood rushes to my face. I gasp. Faster than a speeding bullet, Ron has his arms on my shoulders, supporting me as my legs go limp. Am I safe? Ron's distraught eyes look down at the crystal in his hand. Don't touch it! My arms tremble, body coursing with adrenaline. It'll control your mind, I scream. Hey, it's okay. Nothing's happening, my brother says while checking my expression. Are you really okay? What happened to you? My mind is struggling for words. My heart returns to its usual pace. It was talking to me. The crystal? Gamira tries desperately to pull information from me. What did it say? Did it hurt you? No, it called out to me. It controlled my mind, even before I held it in my hand. My fingers flex, emotion working into every syllable. My mind wasn't my own. I couldn't fight it off. Gamira stammers. But we didn't hear anything. That's impossible. Why just me? Ron grunts in disapproval. I should have paid more attention. I'm sorry. We'll talk more later. We need to contact Garrett and get back to Ionia to get our wounds healed. If this crystal starts talking, I'll let you know. So, I'm just crazy? Ron must sense my overwhelming stress. Let's just focus on the mission. One step at a time, bro. Elder Garrett is the first to spot us making our way through the tree line as we elbow aside tufts of branches. Her right hand is caringly wrapped around an injured citizen. She raises it to greet us. Gamira makes a mad dash across the clearing, collapsing into Garrett's open arms, further tears running down the scholar's cheek. My dear Gamira! Garrett rubs her hand against the younger Galaxi's back. Why are you crying? They're dead, Gamira replies. Gurub and the others. Gakit took them, and they're never coming back. Well, what of us? The elder Galaxy repeats matter-of-factly. Gurub and his platoon knew they were sacrificing when they ventured into the wood. She gestures to the citizens, crouching close to the ground beneath Ionia's metal wings. Meanwhile, look at our people, who would be dead as well. She points at my brother and me, if not for them. She's thanking us? My jaw turns slack in amazement. How's this possible? Garrett rises to her feet, leaving Gamira crouched on the ground, her hands digging into the dirt. I don't understand. Garrett faces me with a warm smile. What do you not understand, Finn? You saved my people. Gyra is destroyed. My guilt has begun to manifest as sorrow. We can rebuild, Garrett says. Your men are dead. It was not you who killed them. If you two had not so bravely taken on this task, we would have been destroyed entirely. Garrett's voice rises to a commanding volume as she turns to address her citizens. They rise to their feet. If not for Finn and Ron, we would all be at the mercy of Gakit. Gamira's chest rises and falls. Elder Garrett is right. The scholar stands, holding her fist once more into the air. They saved us! A chorus of cheers resounds throughout the clearing. Ron's hand finds my shoulder, giving a squeeze. See, he says. I thought we failed you, and you'd be angry at us, Elder Garrett. Dear child, you've done what millions would not. Put your life on the line to assist those in need. Now, smile. I can't refuse. I grin, and with this gesture, my feelings of doubt disappear. What about me? Ron asks. Garrett gives a soft chuckle. Listen, Ron Bates, you fought bravely. I'm honored to call you a friend. If ever the Citadel needs our aid, we will answer the call. We are in your debt. One last round of cheers gives me the assurance I need. Finding Gamira, she smiles, her hands clasped over her heart. A small tear lingers in her left eye, and I know deep down she's still mourning the loss of her beloved friend. Ron and I are about to board Ionia when a voice calls out to us. Finn! Ron! Wait! We turn towards the western path. Gamira is in a stunning summer dress stitched with brown weeds. Her bare feet skid to a halt in front of us. You're leaving without saying goodbye? I step off the metal platform. We're under orders to return to Altair. Gamira. I'm so sorry about Gurub. To my surprise, she smiles, shaking her head. Why are you so hard on yourself? Gamira tiptoes forward. We're mere inches away from one another. Finn, you were so brave. Not to mention, super cool. It seems that her bubbly excitement from when we first met is restored. Well, I mean, it's no big deal. I feel a warmth turning my ears pink. Gamira's stunning black eyes look like twilight. Remember when I told you I wanted to study Gakit? Well, I've made a decision. I'm going to join the Citadel and become a file keeper. I had no idea a position like that even existed. That's amazing. With her up close, I can see light freckles around her dimples. Her lips purse, amusement alight in her expression. I'll discover the truth about that crystal as well, no matter what. For Gurub, and the rest of his platoon. I have lots of studying to do, though, so don't expect to see me anytime soon. But you will see me again. I promise. With that, she leans in, planting a cool kiss on my right cheek. She lingers, seeming to enjoy the moment, while I flush head to toe, stammering my reply like a sixth grader. That's cool. Good luck. Gamira dances off of the platform, landing gracefully in the mud. She giggles, turning on her heels, raising her hand in a goodbye wave to Ron, then setting off back towards Gyra. Bye, Ron. Thanks for everything you've done for us. What? No kiss for me? They laugh as the tail of her dress disappears behind a tree. She was nice, Ron says pointedly, looking at me. Don't bother trying to get me together with her. He gives a hearty laugh, pushing me towards the airlock. You're a big boy now, Finn. You don't need your bro to hook you up with the ladies. I ignore him and we board Ionia. The ramp retracts and the airlock restores Earth normal atmosphere throughout the ship. Admittedly, departing Creyenia leaves a hole in my heart. This is the first time I've completed a task as an Aster. This first mission will forever remain in my memories. Sometime later, we spread out on the couches in Ionia's crew lounge, having treated our bruises and cuts. We were fortunate that our suits protected us from worse injuries, although Ron's ankle is now tightly bandaged. Through the viewport, we can see the rays of distant sunlight warming the ground. We're alone, staring out into the Creyenia western wood, contemplating the results of our mission. Tell you what, Ron, I'm not sorry to go back to HQ and catch up on some sleep. Ron gives a thoughtful nod. I'm not surprised. You outdid yourself, Finn. I'm impressed. I tuck my knees up to my chin. I didn't do enough, though. Gurub is still dead. Garrett told you, Finn. That's not your fault. I know, I say. I point at Ron's pouch. It's that thing. Ron clicks the pouch open. Almost forgot I had it. Guess we need to hand it over to the Citadel. Strangely, he sounds disappointed at the prospect of parting with the artifact. My heart races as he shows the crystal on his bare hand. "What is it?" he muses. "I don't know." He glares deep into the recess of its swirling pools. "As far as I'm aware, the Citadel has no records of magical crystals that turn things evil. Did you really hear a voice?" The memory is still vivid in my mind. "You don't believe me?" I challenge. "Come on, of course I do." He flips the crystal in his hand. "I just don't hear anything. Looks like a regular old rock." Right on cue, a whisper coils from the recess of my mind. "Finn." The voice disappears like a bad dream. I lick my drying lips in worry. It controlled me. I don't know how or why, but it did. "I wonder why only you." His sincere reply causes me to question myself. Maybe it was just the stress from battle. Yet I can hear the mysterious voice so clearly. "What did it say?" It kept saying, "Tell me what you're hiding." When I said nothing, it called me a liar. The questions have many implications. Is it because I'm hiding Mom and Dad's divorce? I can't figure out the answer. Everything was a blur, so I can't remember. It was a male voice, though. I recall the pair of green eyes I saw in the forest. Was that just a figment of my imagination? It must have been. Interesting. A moment of awkward silence passes. In the corner of my vision, Ron flexes his fists, pushing the crystal into his pouch. "Can I ask you a question? It's about Mom and Dad." "Oh, no." Sure." His Jericho watch lights up. "Oh, a diversion. Thank you." "It's a transmission from Ulmu." Ron accepts the incoming message. Ping! A blue projection appears. A light blue hue blankets the Godsonian down to his shoulders. "Hey, boss man." Ron grins. "Don't worry, we're alive." "I can see that." Ulmu's hologram quivers. "I called to instruct you that we need you both at HQ immediately." "Why the rush?" "Multiple Raider ships and spawn swarms have been noted within the KA galaxy. We fear an encounter with a single party could spell disaster for the both of you. The Citadel, additionally, wishes to speak with Finn." A wave of uneasiness makes me gulp. Ron salutes. "Copy that, El Capitan. We're coming home." Ulmu frowns. "When you return, don't forget to write your mission statements." Ron's eyes roll. "If I have to track you down for missing paperwork, Mr. Bates, I swear..." Ron ends the call, Ulmu's threat falling onto deaf ears. "All right, time to haul off." My brother rises to his feet. His ankle twists, causing a spasm of pain. "Ah!" he gasps. Gripping Ron's shoulder, I steady him, leaning him against Ionia's hull. "Thanks, dude. We're in pretty bad shape, eh?" "We'll make it. Come on." We get him to the ladder, and I help him climb it, using one foot and his arms to pull himself up. I follow, and we take our accustomed places on the flight deck as Ron has Eon set us on our way to Altair. Ionia's thrusters come online, throwing up distant leaves and twigs. Once we're on our way, Ron grins at me. "Bet you Nucky misses you." I tap my foot. "Ron, I warned you. Stop teasing me. You told me that I didn't need my big brother to arrange dates for me." "You don't," he replies, still grinning. Eon's voice prevents further discussion on that topic. Initiating hyperdrive. Relaxing in my seat, I kick up my feet, releasing tension from my lower back and hips. Ron closes his eyes, exhaustion finally taking over. Then, right out of the blue, Ron looks at me. "Mom and Dad have split up, haven't they?" What did he just say? A wave of nausea curdles my stomach. I'm shocked to find a look of understanding on his face. "What do you mean split? Like divorced?" I fake a chuckle. As if. Ron's smile is partial. "Come on, man. You and I both know that the only thing Mom and Dad have in common is their love of raising their kids. With me missing, and you all grown up, they wouldn't last long." "You don't know that." "Yes, I do. They could still get back together. Or we could fix..." Ron's voice breaks into frustration. It's not your job to fix their relationship, Finn. Then what should I do? My shout of exasperation occurs as Eon takes us out of hyperdrive. Altair is floating in the distance. Ron's eyes remain glued to mine, thoughtful, yet simultaneously stern. I don't know, Ron admits, but I won't feign ignorance and pretend that everything will go back to normal if I return. My heart is racing a mile a minute. If Ron knows the truth about Mom and Dad, will he give up on coming home? The anxiety is a knife in my gut. But, Ron, if we make Earth a known planet, Mom and Dad could get back together. I told you already, Finn. I'm not making the Earth a known planet for my family. I'm doing it for humanity. Hearing him say this, I'm reminded of people like Chad Brunstick and his friends. Do bullies like them deserve a better life? My lips tremble, overwhelmed by everything that's happened over the last week. Ron, are you angry at me for lying? He shakes his head. No, of course not. I'm the one who lied. He crosses his arms, staring out into space, reminiscing. When I landed on Earth, I checked up on Mom and Dad. I had to see him. His voice cracks. I knew right away that their relationship was broken beyond repair. Oh. I'm stunned. Ron's eyes squeeze tight. I didn't want to upset you, Finn. I know that you're already dealing with a lot, so... That's when it hits me. I've been utterly unaware of Ron's empathy towards my situation. I should have told him the truth. Ron, I say with renewed determination, we're going to make the Earth a known planet. Together. He reaches into his pocket, fishing out the mystifying gem. And now, we've got one doozy of a mystery to solve. A new wave of optimism surges through me. The tantalizing mystery of this new crystal, the joy of meeting new friends, and the eagerness to learn new things. I wouldn't miss it in a million years. That's it. That's the end of book 1. We read it. We read it all. We done it. Woo! Yeah! Guys, I am so happy that I got to read this for you. There was 1 or 2 parts that were a little difficult for me to read. Mostly because there's a lot of characters who have very particular voices that I obviously cannot do. I'm not a professional voice actor, but I did try. And also, as you can see, this is my proof copy and this is a first edition copy. So if you read this book yourself, you will find that the new edition copies have some interesting things added into them. And I also ended up skipping just like small little bits and pieces to make the audiobook or the live reading go by a little bit more smoother. But if you want your own copy, please, please, please purchase down below. It would mean so much to me. That's what it's like to be a struggling artist. I gotta beg people to buy my stuff all the time, which is why I created this merch. As you can see, Altair headquarters sweater. I got the Altair hat, which I took off because I was getting sweaty. I came out with mugs. I'm coming out with masks and notebooks, so please check that out. They're very low prices, and it helps support me in ordering my paperback copies and being able to go out and do live readings once this COVID stuff is over. So guys, lots of love. I really, really, really appreciate the few of you who have been supporting me this entire time. I can't say that enough. I will see you again very soon for the live reading of book 2, which I am so pumped to get to. I love book 2. Book 1 has a special place in my heart, obviously, but it was the first book that I ever wrote, and I think that I expanded on my writing skills, and I was able to implement a lot more scenes, a lot more action, a lot more energy and emotion into book 2. So please stay tuned for that. I've talked enough. I love you guys so, so much. Peace. Bye-bye.